Yo.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
On the troll.
Hello and welcome to Mngomezulu. We're back again. It's that time of the night where we have to tell you what happened in court. I know you've been waiting for us, but yeah, what happens in our side sometimes can determine when we start. In this case, we're starting now. Sorry for delays that were caused during that process. Ms. Emily, I almost said Mr. Anonymous. Emily,
hi guys, welcome back to Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us yet again for another video and another review of this crazy Senzo Meyiwa trial. It's insane. Every day it just keeps getting worse and worse. Were they hoping that by this time we'd have lost interest?
Yeah.
But it's not happening, eh?
No.
So yeah, on this day in 2014, 9 years ago, exactly 9 years ago, Senzo Meyiwa met his untimely demise. And we are following the trial and still trying to find out what happened to him, you guys. 9 years later, we still don't have the full story of what happened in that Spaza house on that Sunday evening. So some of the occupants who were inside the house where he was killed have testified that 2 intruders entered the house demanding cell phones and money before shooting him dead. There are currently 5 men on trial for the killing, and they say that they did not do it. Now we are in a trial within a trial, which will determine the admissibility of the alleged confessions into the main trial.
Yes.
So, Mr. Anonymous, you won the bet regarding Ubab Jonas. He returned today.
And he was fine.
And he was fine.
I told you, that man is strong. Very strong. I guess, my 20 rand. You know these things, man. You know how they go. But in my own feeling, I heard his voice was very strong. So he was sick, but his voice was strong.
Okay.
What else? Like, it felt like he was surprised. He was told he's sick. Did you hear that? It's like, oh, yes, my lord.
Yes, my lord.
I'm like, okay. Nigga looks surprised.
Yeah,
she sounds surprised. But what can you do? Anything for my lord. Yeah, so
the first confession statement by accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi, was in sharp focus today. So this is a statement Ntanzi is said to have made 3 days following his arrest. Now remember, according to Ntanzi's version of events, he was arrested on the 16th of June 2020 on charges of possession of ammunition, wherein it is alleged that the police searched his home without him being there or presenting him with a search warrant in Rustenburg, where he was based while he was working at the mines. Then on the 19th of June 2020, 3 days later, he was allegedly made to confess to having killed the late great Senzo Meyiwa.
It's the mixture of events, though, that happens after the arrest, the timely arrest of you have in possession of ammunition. The mixture of events then that follows after that before you are charged, and the coincidence that happens where after you have given the so-called statement, then you are charged.
So Lieutenant Colonel Rapadu was back on the stand today, and Baloy reminded Rapadu that they were on page 2, so he can continue reading from paragraph 5. And Rapadu picked up from where Ntanzi allegedly said that he wanted to make the statement without the presence of a lawyer. Rapadu said he then gives the following answers to the questions above. The content and the object of every question is being explained to him. This is him reading his statement. Do you understand that?
This is the second statement, right?
Yes.
And the first one is that one that was made by Croyer, right?
Yes.
Is that the first and the order of the of the day?
No, it's not the order. The second
It's Cronier's
is
one.
Cronier's one.
Oh, Cronier was
But
just...
But they started with Cronier. That's what I'm noticing with this case. They always start with what should be at the later
stage. The order of things.
The order of things is messed up. And is it to confuse? What is going on?
No. In fact, you can be right to say that it is too confused. You see, there are many loopholes here. So if you listen to Cronier's one, which had loopholes also, but it has more weight because,
She's
it's a magistrate.
magistrate.
It was meant to cover for this one because this one, it's worse.
It's a disaster.
And I said that, remember, so I told you that I won't be surprised. No, when Cronier was still there, I won't be surprised if this one was a cover-up of the first one.
Oh, you did mention that.
Yes.
And
It looks like that.
It's looking like it because, wow, it's a hot mess. Okay. And then he continued to read from his statement that he wrote. And he said, do you understand the advice given to you? He said, yes, I'm willing to give a statement without any legal practitioner. Now, this sounds too good to be true. And it is honestly unbelievable, in my opinion. Okay. And then he continued to read. He said, I asked, do you still wish to continue to give the statement? He said, yes, I'm continuing. Have you been assaulted or threatened by any person in order to influence you to come and make this statement? And his response was no. If so, by whom were you assaulted and when and how did it occur? The response was not applicable. Were you influenced by anyone to carry out the statement? And Ntanzi apparently said no. Have any promises been made to you by anyone should you make the statement? And he said no. If so, what was the promises? And he said this was not applicable. To what extent, if at all, did these promises lead to a decision to make a statement? Not applicable. Do you expect benefits when you make the statement? He said no. If so, what benefits? Not applicable. You know, as he was reading this, it also made me think about how willing participants of a confession like they are describing Ntanzi would be in a situation where you have been offered money or you know you're going to make money or you have been given the money.
Yes.
It's only those circumstances where you will voluntarily confess with a happy face.
Or you'll be exonerated, something.
There has to be money. Okay.
There has to be something that you gain.
You are benefiting. You know, and to what extent, if at all, did the fact that you expect benefits influence you to make a statement? And he said none. Have you in the past made a statement regarding this incident? He said no. Were you arrested? He said yes. When were you arrested? And he said 2020 June the 16th. And do you have any injuries? If so, how and when and where were they sustained? He said no. Observation from the justice of the peace, and then there he said no, but later on during cross-examination, there's dodginess happening with this part. Observation from the justice of peace.
Yes.
Baloy then said, if you say no, then can you explain what is the context? And Rapadu said, in other words, there were no signs of assault on the said accused person. Do you object to the presence of any in or the immediate vicinity of this office? Or is there anyone making him feel uncomfortable? And his response was no. Baloy referred him to page 1. And it quoted as saying, the interpreter and I are in the office and nobody else. And I'm thinking to myself, so far as this witness has started testifying, what interpreter now? Did he mention an interpreter before? And then...
he's going to answer because he's going to tell him he was actually referring to himself. He's a goalkeeper, striker.
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades.
Is it correct? And Rapadu said that's correct. But is that sentence correct? Was there an interpreter? Now, this is Advocate Baloyi emphasizing. And Rapadu said there was no interpreter. It was only me and him. So it was a mistake on the statement, I'm going to assume. So do you still wish to make a statement? And he said, Ntanzi said yes. And Baloyi said paragraph 15.1 has been redacted. So you can omit that paragraph and go to paragraph 16. Are you at this moment under the influence of liquor and or illegal substances? And Ntanzi said no. Observation of the justice of peace. There was no response written there. And he said, I have omitted it. So he did not record if he saw accused number 2 as drunk or high or what.
Yeah.
You know. And Rapadu said in court, but in overall he was sober and clean. Now this is him making up for the omission on the statement inside the court during his testimony.
Correcting
and he's
his
saying that from what he can remember from 2020, overall he was sober and clean. But what made him come to that conclusion?
That one of being clean is the problem. Why would you say someone is sober and clean?
Why are you now emphasizing clean?
Unless it was dirty because you were dealing with him decisively.
Now it's also making me question, when was the statement made exactly?
No, it's you see, the problem is you try to close the loopholes when you are doing things like this. Let's say I beat you, put you down, and do, you know, what is that clean? Where's that clean?
Why is he saying clean on the witness box, you know, emphasizing? It's so strange. So it appears that the deponent is in his sound mind and sober senses, and he had not been unduly influenced thereunto, and his rights are prescribed by Section 35 of the final Constitution, and freely and voluntarily wishes to make a statement. He is informed that he may now proceed. Baloyi then asked, is it correct that the questions you canvassed were before the making of the statement? And Rapadu said that's correct. Baloyi then said, what happened thereafter? And Rapadu said, I then took down the statement. On completion, the statement is read to the deponent, and he also reads it, and he can change where he sees necessary. And my question is, was he even offered a pen to make those changes? I don't know. I wasn't there, but it's a question I have in my head. Well, there is initial cancellation on paragraph 18. What does it signify? Look at
inconsistencies. And a normal person will be able to pick these things up. With Cronje, this man is given an interpreter.
Yes.
And Cronje comes with an interpreter. And that interpreter is there for later collaborating Cronje. In this case, one man.
There was no interpreter. The forms say they've made provision for an interpreter, but he's making it sound like in the police they don't have interpreters, so that interpreter is not needed.
It should be you.
You are the interpreter, but why is it in the forms? What happens when a white police officer has to take a statement from a person who cannot hear English? And speaks a totally different language to the one that they know? What happens in such circumstances?
And he's not a qualified interpreter. You later hear when he's being cross-examined.
So there is initial cancellation on paragraph 18. What does it signify? This is Baloyi asking. Rapadu said it signifies that there are some cancellations, and it was for him to confirm the cancellation, myself and him. Now, does he mean that he made the correction with his hand on the statement, or he was telling you what needed to be corrected, and you wrote for him? That's my question. That's what I am asking myself. What does he mean?
No way Bongani wrote on that thing.
What does he mean by this? So note down whether he also read through the statement and he said yes. Okay, and in my question, I'm asking myself, did he read it himself, or did Raphadu read it to him? And has the statement been read back to the deponent by you and the interpreter? And he says yes. Baloyi said, you've already mentioned that there was no interpreter used. Then Raphadu said that's correct. Baloyi then asked who read the statement back to him, and Raphadu said, I read the statement myself back to him. Okay. So the following questions are now put to the deponent. Are you satisfied with which you stated has been noted down correctly? And the response was yes. Do you have any complaints as to the manner in which I took down the statement? And the response was no. Are you satisfied with the interpreter? He said yes. But there was no interpreter. This honestly sounds like it was not done before the accused, in my opinion, guys, in my opinion. Or maybe it was, but he was just sitting there and not participating. It's giving that. It's giving the accused was not participating. It sounds like that, in my opinion. How did he overlook the presence of an interpreter? Did he assume that the interpreter would be there as he wrote the statement? Or is it another human error?
Isn't that performer? That's what bothered me. Isn't that performer supposed to have that option that if you have selected some answer, then you do not need to answer something else? You know, like there are questions there that are supposed to be blocked by question one that emanate if you answer question one.
Yes.
And there it doesn't. You still ask those questions.
Raphadu said, I completed the statement at Moroka on 19th June 2020, 11:47. There is his thumbprint, my signature, and his signature. So Baloyi said, you said the interview started at 7:30. What time was it completed? And Raphadu said 11:47. Although he wasn't specific about AM or PM, later on I found out during cross-examination that he said it was in the morning. So Baloyi then said, what happened after it was read back? Raphadu said the signature were made, and apparently as he had elementary education, he understands a little bit of English. He says, I handed it back to him for any corrections. And I'm asking myself, did you also give him a pen to make those corrections?
Because you claim that is well.
He's saying
versed in English.
Little bit of English. Little bit of English is not being proficient in English. It means you can hear a little bit. Right? And there was no interpreter.
Yeah.
It's a lot of red flags. And it was handed back to me. Then I took him back to Jonathan of EMPD. Baloyi then asked what happened to the statement. Raphadu said, I took it with me, and 2 days later it was collected from my office by the investigating officer. Then Baloyi asked, is there anything else you wish to add? And Lieutenant Colonel, and then Raphadu said no. So the state concluded, leading the witnesses' evidence in chief, and Advocate Thulani Mngomezulu started with his cross-examination. And he started off by asking, was it a normal statement or a confession? And Raphadu said it was a confession. Mngomezulu asked, will you agree with me if I say that a statement is an expression of something either verbally or in writing? And Raphadu said, yes, I will agree with you. Mngomezulu then asked, but a confession has a different meaning as opposed to an ordinary statement. Do you agree? And Raphadu said, I agree, but can I elaborate on that? And Mngomezulu said, yes, sir. Raphadu said, the issue here is that I used a pro forma in the pro forma part of it.
Justifying the statement
is
part.
A statement that you have to obtain in a confession.
And there, the court is fidgeting, trying to explain why Mngomezulu could be wrong by saying it is written here, confession and statement. If it's written, does it mean it's correct? If it's written confession, that doesn't mean it's correct. I'm worried about this judge because I read this information about him that says that he was doing exactly this that he's doing now, which is to side, which looks like siding with the state, and people complained about him, right?
Wow.
So
he's not doing this for the first
yes,
time.
this is like a replica of what I was reading. It's like a replica of what I was reading. It doesn't make sense that people can complain about what exactly we are seeing now today, as of today in what 2008, is it 2008 or so?
The time, the
Even
story.
the comments that he makes, they were complaining about them.
Yo.
And it can be that everyone sees exactly what we see today in Senzo's case.
Now it's 2023 and we are laymen and we
That
are
would mean
seeing-
that someone appointed you for a reason. I don't know. That's my thinking. If your behavior is associated to this behavior that you side with the states, doesn't it mean that someone can appoint you so that? Obviously, I'm alleging here, but all I'm saying is that it can be that at the point, legal people complained about you, your colleagues complained about. Now, lay people seeing you almost doing exactly that, even with the issue of comments.
Well, Mngomezulu said, does the pro forma state that it is made under a provision which governs confessions? Rapadu said that's correct, because if you read the questions that are being set up in this pro forma, are the questions that prove the admissibility requirements for the confession. Does it introduce this pro forma as a pro forma made in terms of Section 217 of the Criminal Procedure Act? Does it state so? And Rapadu said that's correct. And then Mngomezulu asked, can you please read it for me where it says that from that pro forma? Well, Rapadu couldn't. Not to suggest, my lord, the requirements of Section 217 is that the person must be warned in terms of Section 35, and that the requirement is that it must be done freely and voluntarily without undue processes. Mngomezulu repeated the question. Rapadu flipped through the statement and he was struggling to find it. Baloyi stood to object and he says, I don't know if it's a fair question. The witness said the import of Section 217 is covered in the question. Is the witness now expected to point out Section 217 in the pro forma? We submit, my lord, that it is not a fair question. No, he said it forms part of Section 35. So why couldn't he at least point to the Section 35 that he was talking about?
Yes, he is expected to understand what he's working with. You can't be sworn in and then do not understand why you are there. How are you going to explain to Ntanzi why you are there, according to what section and what? How do you do that?
How
do you take person into confidence that, okay, you understand what you're doing, and then all of a sudden you need to be protected as if you're a lay person? You are at the same level as a magistrate. This is what we were told.
Justice
In the
of the
absence
peace.
of the magistrate, and you are taking that confession, you are at that level.
Yes. So the fact that you don't even know the laws that govern, or should you appear in court, what laws govern your job description, it's very disturbing.
It is. It is disturbing.
Mngomezulu then asked, may I respond by saying, my lord, the relevance of that question is founded on a prescribed formality that must be complied with. And the judge said, which is what? Then Mngomezulu said, which is Section 217. And the judge said, if you read this document, and he did it, I wish I had a paper in front of me. If you read this document, it says confession and admission. Now he lifted that paper for him to see. That's why I'm like, I wish I had a piece of paper in front of me. It's like, It's written admission and confession. I'm like, why the drama? Like, relax.
And as if what he's explaining is basically the alpha and omega of the truth, and there's nothing truthful about that. What that thing is saying is a guidance. He was asking about, is it statutory or is it he was doing that. Now today he is telling you that that form might have, in a sense, deceived this guy who was this peace officer in believing that all the questions that are required in section 5, is it section 35,
Yes.
are there.
Yeah, it says confession and admission. Can you make any sense of it? And Mngomezulu said it makes sense. And the judge said, okay, fine, you heard him. This document is headed confessions and admissions. So you should incorporate that maybe in your questions also.
Why? Why should you do that? Why should you listen to this judge and how to ask questions?
We know how that went the last time.
Mm-hmm.
Then Mngomezulu then said, my follow-up question is, I wanted you to draw a distinction between a confession and an admission because they are governed by different provisions.
Exactly.
Baloyi stood to object again, and he said once again, my lord, without trying to perturb my learned friend's cross-examination, that's a legal question. The difference between a confession and an admission, I don't think it's a fair question to the witness.
Yeah, the court has started. I mean, the court has now decided to help, and Baloyi will take any chance. I mean, this judge is just doing exactly what I think was written about him.
Now, what business does he have taking down confessions, this Rapadu, and admissions if he has no knowledge of the laws that govern them? This is how...
How would you identify a confession? How would you... I mean, you
are
take
still
this...
going to appear in court. So you are telling me it's none of your business to know the law so that you can navigate your...
More so the
testimony
one
in
that
court.
governs this between the confession and the statement. You should know that because you are expected to differentiate between the two.
So this is how, in my opinion, police fail to get convictions or assist in proving cases beyond reasonable doubt in courts. That's why we are seeing criminals kind of walk free sometimes. It's because of nitty-gritties like this that they are not really caring about.
Because look at it this way. Even with the correction of Kronya, they still fail to do it smoothly.
I'm shaking my head.
Allegedly. That's my...
Allegedly. So Mngomezulu then said, my lord, in response to that, he is a justice of peace. He should be familiar. He must be able to identify that at the present moment, when I'm taking this, it's a confession. When I'm taking this, it's an admission. Okay, he should know the difference.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking also.
So the judge says, sorry.
I'm given a simple job of taking confessions and statements. Simple as that.
Then the judge says, sorry, I don't want to get involved in this. But this
But you are
witness said
involved.
that the requirement of Section 217 is that a person must be warned in terms of Section 35 and that this must be done freely and voluntarily. I'm quoting him and I wrote it verbatim. That's what he says. Now, at this point, you are speaking on his behalf because he was told to look for that Section 35 in his own statement and he failed to find it. So you are testifying literally on his behalf by answering this question for him. And by the way, as he was reading his notes, guys, did you notice something?
You're stuttering.
Also, he took his glasses off. What are those glasses for? Aren't they for reading? Is that why he was asking accused number 4 about the time he was wearing glasses? Are they for for appearance, or does he have an eye problem? Is that why he cared? Why does he have glasses on if he can read without them? Is it for swag?
I don't know.
Because I'm noticing it for the first time today. I'm like, why are you taking your glasses off when you're reading?
I've seen it. No, I've seen it.
I wasn't paying attention.
All the time he's about to read, he removes them.
Haibo.
Now and then, actually.
That was strange. I'm like, someone has to explain to me what is going on here.
Maybe his eyes are better when he doesn't have them. Maybe they are for that, but they are better. Because when I was reading, for example, the judgment of the audio,
yes,
I think they were on.
Oh, the glasses were on.
Yeah.
Like, why are you taking them off now? I'm so confused. But then Mngomezulu said, my lord, may I also insist on section 217 as it is not expressly provided in the pro forma. And the judge got a little bit hostile there, in my opinion. And he says, no. Quite so, it is not. That's a fact. It's not. Let's move on, please. So Mngomezulu said, may I proceed, because there is a reason why I'm asking this. If section 217, let me rephrase by saying this. Have you taken confessions before? And for how long have you been doing this? And Rapadu said, I have taken confessions before and for the entire career of mine. Mngomezulu then asked, have you obtained a special training for confession and admissions during the course of your career? And Rapadu said, correct. He said correct. Then how come he doesn't know section 35, section 217? How come he doesn't know all of those? What is the training for? Okay. Then Mngomezulu then asked, can you explain that? And Rapadu said, I was in various units in the service and I acquired more experience, even though not as an expertise, but I have acquired a lot of knowledge. So Mngomezulu then said, in terms of section 214 of the Criminal Procedure Act, it makes a provision in terms of subsection 1 where a non-judicial officer can take a confession. Do you agree, or you want to read the provision before you give an answer? And Rapadu said, I cannot dispute that. So Mngomezulu then said, so section 217 1B, Roman figure 2, it's a confession taken by a judicial officer. You won't dispute that. Then Rapadu said, I won't dispute that, because the main fact is that even though it was taken by a judicial officer or a policeman or any other person, it must be brought to court for a test.
Where was that answer going?
I don't know. He just wanted to sound like he was answering.
Well,
for the sake of...
He just didn't make sense to me.
For the sake of answering.
So the fact that you took something wrong, it must be still be looked at. Yes, even if it's right, it's gonna go through the trial.
So Mngomezulu then said or asked, we'll get into that part. We are still laying the basis on the provision that governs confessions. The next question is from the distinction that I've drawn between 217 1A and 217 1B.
Yeah.
Which of these two provisions you took this confession, the alleged confession? And Rapadu said, I took it under as justice of peace. That show that he has no idea.
No.
No clue.
No.
About the laws that make his job to be understood, and worse, to present his case as a witness properly in a court of law. He has no interest in finding out that information. So Mngomezulu said, thank you. After how many said his entire career has been taking confessions. And he's trying to tell us that in his entire career of taking confessions, and he said it's how many years? 36? Is it 30-something years?
Yes.
He doesn't know these laws, which means there's
laws
a probability that he
do
doesn't testify much in court as well. There's a probability that after taking confessions, he is not expected to appear in court.
The manner in which these people were chosen, it's not a mistake.
Ne?
And it seems as if you were chosen on the basis that you admire a certain person, you feel like, there's that thing that makes me feel like, it's like when the president, or if a president was to come here and say, do 1, 2, 3 for me, in confidence, you'll jump, right?
I will jump.
Yeah, it seems like that. It's like
and most of us will. Don't lie. Most of us will, because the presence alone. This is the president, okay? If the president is asking you for something, for a favor, for something to be done, you're gonna do it.
The manner in which this guy dismisses that, we knew Guinea at the time, it feels like I would do anything. If I had to lay my body down, I would do that. I would lay my body down.
Admiration.
It's like, wow, me doing this for this man is wow.
Huge.
It's the best I can do.
So Mngomezulu said, thank you. Can you please, because I'm getting to that position as the justice of the peace, I asked the question between these two provisions. Is the justice of the peace covered under section 217A 1A or 217 Roman figure 2?
Yes.
And Baloyi said, at the court, pleases, my lord. With the greatest of respect, the witness is now expected to be a legal expert. I think those are the issues.
And
that
there's
can
that
be
green
addressed.
smile with the judge.
I think those are the issues that can be addressed when we address the court. The witness doesn't have the Criminal Procedure Act in front of him. And the judge said, okay, fine. And Mr. Mngomezulu, are you saying that Lieutenant Colonel Rapadi is not entitled by law to take a confession? Now you want him to give us a lecture. And Mngomezulu was like, no, that's not my intention, my lord. And the judge is like, if he says he is the justice of the peace, he's entitled to take a confession. Mngomezulu said, but my lord, we are governed by two provisions when it comes to taking off. And the judge cut him and said, yes, I know. Hence, Mngomezulu is saying, I want to give him clarity in terms of this appointment, or his appointment as the justice of peace. And the judge said, but he just said, I took the confession.
Emil, I got this article. Mm-hmm. It was published in February 12, 2008 by
2008.
Alex. Yes.
By Alex.
The heading is independent. It's IOL. Joking GP's town judge to rule on a recusal.
Joking GP's town judge.
The GP's town massacre trial judge is due to announce on Tuesday morning if he will recuse himself after being labeled hostile, impatient and biased by the defense team.
Amen.
So you can go read it.
Is there more?
So we've been saying that, haven't we?
Mm-hmm. Is there more? Is there more information that is happening with what we are seeing currently in the Senzo Meyiwa trial?
Exactly.
So, yeah, the judge said, but he said, I took the confession because I am the justice of peace, not me, my daughter. And I'm like, so him being a justice of the peace means that all that he has to do is to say it, and it cannot be tested or tried before a judge or before Judge Rata's court, it seems. So we must just take his word for it. What if he's lying and he's not the justice of peace?
It will not matter.
It's not tested or tried. What if he did not learn the steps to be a justice of peace? How come does he not know these laws and what they would mean to him should he go and testify in a court of law? How come? So Mngomezulu continued wanting to make his point, and the judge said he is not a magistrate. Mr. Rapadi, what are you? He now asked Mr. Rapadi. Rapadi says, no, my lord. What are you? And the judge said, "What are you again?" And Rapadu said, "I'm a police official." Judge said, "And you are entitled to take a confession, say." And Rapadu said, "That's correct, my lord." The judge said, "As what?" Rapadu said, "Justice of the peace." The judge said, "Okay." Now Mngomezulu said, "My lord, I'll submit with due respect. I'll argue it at a later stage because it's a legal point that I wanted to clarify. May I proceed with my cross-examination?" The next question he asked, "So you said for the first time you met the accused was on the 19th, is that correct?" And Rapadu said, "That's correct." Mngomezulu said, "So you received the instruction on the 18th from Mr. Gininda?" Rapadu said, "That's correct." When you received these instructions, you told the court that Jonathan and the escort brought Mr. Ntanzi to your office in Muroka police station. And Rapadu said, "Only Jonathan." And when you took this confession, or when you completed your pro forma, there is somewhere where it indicated that it was yourself and the interpreter. Can you clarify that point? And Rapadu said, "That's why I didn't make any cancellations or annotations there, because I was interpreting for him." Mngomezulu asked, "You regard yourself as an interpreter. Are you a qualified interpreter?" And Rapadu said, "Not in the real sense. I don't have documentation." Mngomezulu asked, "So according to your evidence, there was no communication breakdown between yourself and the accused?" And Rapadu said, "No, we were flowing." Has he lived in KZN, this man?
His Zulu says no.
I find it hard to believe,
His Zulu says no.
because the Zulu spoken in rural KZN is not the one spoken in Gauteng. It's not. It's not, guys. It's not. So I find this very hard to believe. And after hearing him under cross-examination with Ngumalo and how he was, and how he translated the right to remain silent, it was not the one. It wasn't. It wasn't fluent in a way that would say that Bongani, if he was speaking in Zulu and he was speaking and translating as he claims, it wouldn't have flowed. They were going to need to request an interpreter.
No.
In my opinion.
We can comprehend this Zulu wannabe. It's okay. But to explain certain things, there are Zulu words that you would not be able to, more so if you were to go through that translate. There are Zulu words that you cannot dodge, or you can end up butchering the translation.
So Mngomezulu says, "So now a statement according to it was only you, the accused, in the office," and Rapadu said, "Correct." Mngomezulu asked, "The version of the accused is when he was booked out of Muroka police station to Carltonville, where he was staying at Carltonville. He was transported by Mabena and Mohani. Do you dispute that?" And Rapadu said, "I can't deny." Mngomezulu then continued to say, "When they were still at Carltonville, Brigadier Gininda arrived with another person, a lady by the name of Muhola. At the time..."
See there, there, it's just giving names. It's giving
steps,
step by step,
what was happening. He can recall.
The man can come here and dispute that he has owned a BMW that is white.
Yeah, when he comes and testifies.
Unfortunately, it's his weight
against that of
But if we really were to follow up, these things would just unravel themselves.
At the time, the accused was transported in a white Toyota Fortuner. You won't dispute that. And Rapadu said, "I will remain silent about that. I do not know." Maybe he should have gone on to ask, "Do you know the kind of car that Brigadier Gininda drives on a regular basis?" Or on that day, on that time, during that time period, as you were taking the confession, what car was he driving? Then Mngomezulu then said when Brigadier Gininda left, they took a direction towards Alberton, where they stopped next to a filling station which was opposite a company that is manufacturing steel. And then Raphadu said, that I do not know. He was tubed and assaulted by Mabena, Buthelezi, and Jonathan. You don't dispute that. And Raphadu said, I wouldn't know anything about that. Mngomezulu then continued to say, so they insisted that he should tell them the truth about the murder case. When they tubed him, they were using a silver plastic bag covering his face. You won't dispute that. Raphadu said, I don't know about that. Then they took him to a place next to a dumping area. There's a place on the right-hand side on the direction of Alberton. It's a dumping area where he was further tubed, assaulted to make a confession statement. Can you comment on that? And Raphadu said, when he was brought to me, he never stated that he was assaulted. He was just freely and being a happy person. Abanamu. I was like, why are you all framing or painting or making it sound like accused number 2 is a psycho who is happy when they get arrested and they are handcuffed? What is going on? Only a psycho would be happy and smiling under such circumstances. I'm not talking about the torturing. I'm talking about alone the presence of many, many, many police and handcuffs. Only a psycho would be smiling. What is going on? Then Mngomezulu then said, you came into the picture after the assault in that area when he was driven by Mr. Mabena and Mahanu in a white Fortuner to Baragwanath Hospital. We call it Chris Hani Hospital now. Where they found you in company of your wife and you left the keys of the car to your wife. And there was a child.
Tell me you're making that up.
Raphadu said, I don't know anything about that. I haven't met anyone amongst the accused persons. The judge asked if it was not in the vicinity of the hospital, but inside the hospital. Mngomezulu said, yes, it was inside the hospital. So Mngomezulu then continued to say the witness gave the car to his wife and there was a child. I do not know of any incident. That assertion is wrong. This is Raphadu denying. I don't know. Okay, fine. Mngomezulu then said, then you traveled from Chris Hani Hospital towards Orlando in Soweto, where this car was parked in an open area. And my instruction is that there were old ATM machines that were no longer functioning. And it's next to a dumping area. Raphadu said, no, I'll disagree with that. Mngomezulu then continued to say, Brigadier Gininda with another person arrived there, was also an escort at the time. Raphadu said, I'll disagree with that. I didn't know Brigadier Gininda. I only knew him when he phoned me. Really? Really?
Imagine a man who's this famous in the police, the man is around Gauteng.
Really?
Works around Gauteng, isn't it?
Yes.
So he's famous around this area.
Then Mngomezulu then said Brigadier Gininda opened the boot of a white BMW and sat on the edge of the open boot. Raphadu
Isn't that
said,
what
"I
you see in
disagree."
movies? What is left is a cigarette.
And then they hold it somehow. They don't hold it classy, like they hold it like.
If with a hat, your girlfriend sitting here watching you do your things. If you don't sign this,
Yeah, I'm imagining it's like the scene of a series. You know, and Mngomezulu said everyone was outside the motor vehicle. Then Brigadier Gininda took out documents and gave them to you, Raphadu. And Raphadu said, I'll disagree with that. Mngomezulu then continued to say the instructions from Gininda to the accused was that if he doesn't sign the documents, the assault would carry on. And Raphadu said, I don't know of any meeting with Brigadier Gininda. Mngomezulu continued to say, so the torturing, tubing, assaulting of the accused carried on until you asked the police officers that were around after seeing the condition of the accused, you asked them if he was still alive. Rapadu said, I was never involved in any assault. I was not there.
When they mentioned the hospital, indeed, Ansi came. Did you notice that the man was kind of shocked? Sounded like
Taken aback.
it's like they didn't expect him to remember
The
all these points.
Then Mngomezulu said, fearing for his life after the plastic was removed from his face, then he was made to sign the document. Rapadu said, that's not correct. The confession happened in my office at Moroka. Then Mr. Mabena was in possession of the stamp, which was used to take the thumbprint of the accused and attach it on the documents. Rapadu said, I'll disagree with that. It was me who took the thumbprint, or took his thumbprint. Mngomezulu said, my instruction is to further say that these documents were not all signed and there was no attachment of the thumbprint, so it was said to be incomplete. As a result, after they departed from that place, he was booked back to Moroka police station. Rapadu said, I'll disagree with that. It was done once in the office and I took the documents with me. The judge said, sorry, Mr. Mngomezulu, you are saying that it was discovered that these documents were not complete. What do you mean by that? And Mngomezulu said, by signing, they were not completed in terms of signing. They were half signed, the judge said. So the fingerprints were also half indented into the documents. The process was not finished. It was finished at Moroka police station. Like, Judge Luena, sometimes your questions... Your questions
First lane.
sometimes... Aye. Asazi. Aye. I feel sorry for his children. I feel like somehow, you know, they went through a lot. Like I feel for them. Like having a father like that. Yes, as guys, yo. It's not nice. I have family members who are like him, and I am avoiding them. No offense, but I don't like such people.
No, what's be the shame?
They are too much. They are too much. They like to interfere on things that they shouldn't be involved in. I was like, what is happening? What is the point of this question? What are you trying to establish?
Nothing.
Because I know you're trying to establish something.
Just to disturb the process.
Well, Rapadu said, I'll disagree. The document, I brought it myself. It was clearly completed in front of me. Read back to him, and he put the signature and the thumbprint together with my signature. Then Mngomezulu said, and at Moroka police station, Jonathan was present, including other officers, when he signed for the second time, denting his thumbprint to complete the signing of the document. Rapadu said he signed before me. There was no Jonathan in the office. Mngomezulu continued to say he will deny he ever made a statement, nor was it read back to him. And the statement came with Brigadier Gininda, and he was ordered to sign that statement. Rapadu said it's incorrect. He made it to me. Mngomezulu continued to say that means he didn't make a statement and he was not freely and voluntarily appending his signature on the statement. So literally he was forced to put his signature. Rapadu said he did all this freely and voluntarily, my lord. So he was coerced to append his signature on the written statement. And Rapadu said, no, I'll disagree with that. He put the signature and the thumbprint freely.
Thank you, Jafet. Can you please like the video? Like the video. Like the video. Please, guys, we're on 652 views.
Come on, guys. Let's push it to 400. 400.
Yes. And again, thank you, Jafet.
Likes. So the judge said, sorry, Mr. Mngomezulu, I don't wish to interfere.
It's like you park your car in my gate. Oh, I don't wish to park my car on your gate. You are parking your car in my gate.
And then he says, was this night or during the day when the accused was taken to the dumping place? And Mngomezulu said it was during the day. Then Mngomezulu continued to say or read from what the accused version of events was. He was arrested for being in possession of ammunition and charged on 16th of June 2020 for the same alleged offense. Rapadu said, I don't know that. Mngomezulu continued to say, did he indicate if there is any other case he was arrested for except for the one it is alleged he made a confession on? Did he tell you? And Rapadu said, correct. Mngomezulu said, what offense was that? You know, this man, you just denied it in the previous question, and then the next question
You come and answer it.
Mngomezulu then asked what offense was that, and Rapadu said, I didn't go into details, I just had the knowledge that he was arrested on another case. Let me put it to you.
Because he knows that the man was charged on the same day.
Mngomezulu said, let me put it to you as per his version that he was arrested for being in possession of ammunition. And Rapadu said, I will not disagree. I will agree with that. Mngomezulu said he was charged on the 16th of June 2020 for the same alleged offense. And Rapadu said, that I don't know. Mngomezulu said, I'm in possession of the constitutional rights of the accused. I beg leave to show the witness if he can comment on this. Do you see the document? It reflects the rights of the accused. What is the charge there? And Rapadu said, possession of unlicensed ammunition. Mngomezulu then said, when was that? Rapadu said, the 19th of June 2020. Mngomezulu said, I put it to you, the accused person, when he was arrested on the 16th of June 2020, on the present case, he was not charged. And Rapadu said, I was not informed of that. It depends on which day of the week he was arrested that can render the arrest questionable. Mngomezulu then said, and then a second confession was made on the 24th of June 2020 in Boksburg, and he was still not charged. Rapadu said, I cannot respond to that. I was done with my job. Yeah, he was done with his job. He's not wrong.
Finish and clear.
Mngomezulu then asked for the document back, the charge sheet for the possession of ammunition case, and the judge refused and said that the document must be read into the record. We all know that. However, the same energy was not there for Hadebe's statement yesterday. Then Jonas offered to read it. The judge wanted even the heading and everything to be on the record.
He's used to scaring people with such things so that people don't bring things that would support them. He does that a lot.
Yeah, but he off-ramped again. If there was a space for an interpreter.
And in all honest, my own observation about this man, we might laugh about it and say this man is really... I feel like he practiced during those times where he was expected to rule against anyone who's against the state.
And at that time, the state was obviously those of no color. Obviously. So now he off-ramped again, you guys, today. And I was like, this is happening again. And he said if there was space for an interpreter, he was asking if there was space for an interpreter. And he was asking mainly Jonas. And I was thinking to myself, why does it matter? It's for a case that's not before this court. What was previously read, you guys, is with regards to the ammunition case that Bongani Ntanzi faced over there in Rustenburg. It has nothing to do with this case. So why are you caring about interpreters in an ammunition case? Why are you not as concerned about interpreters in this one, in this case? in this, with regards to statements that are related to this case. Like Rapadu's statement, for example. It's like you were not interested that much in interpreters and interpretation. But all of a sudden, with the ammunition case, you want to know if there was an interpreter or not. He repeated what Jonas read, and he asked the witness. So according to that document that accused Mr. Ntanzi's rights were read to him in English. But Rapadu has nothing to do with that document. That's what I was thinking to myself. I'm like, Rapadu did not write that. That document, in fact, I don't think Rapadu is in that document. It's for the ammunition case. I'm like, what is going on? What in the confusion is being created here? I'm so confused. I had to watch it like 3 times to understand why are you asking about interpreters for a different case that's not before this court? Then Rapadu said, correct, my lord. Rapadu, he's just answering like, where? Guys, yo, sisenkingen, like we are in trouble. When it comes to this judge, I don't understand the MO. I don't understand what he's doing. It's a mess. So Mngomezulu said, may I make a follow-up question? Well, Mngomezulu took the opportunity from this floor. Okay? He took it. He grabbed it. And he asked, as indicated that such rights were read to Mr. Ntanzi in English. One cannot confirm if it was interpreted to him that he understood. And Rapadu said, I agree. In the absence of an interpreter, one cannot conclude by saying he fully understands what was contained in this document. And Rapadu said, I'll disagree with that. Did you make your own statement? Mngomezulu asked. Was it made under oath? And Rapadu said, yes. When did you make the statement? Rapadu said, the same day. The judge asked Mr. Baloyi if there was a statement that was discovered to all the defense or the legal counsel. And Baloyi said, yes, my lord. So it seems that Rapadu had a separate statement, although the defense counsel, I don't think they used it much. But that's what happened in a nutshell. So you will agree with me, this is Mngomezulu asking, you will agree with me that the affidavit does not bear the date in which it was made, and it does not have the stamp. Rapadu said it is not only the stamp that is put on the affidavit. I made it on the very same day, on the 19th, and I handed it over to Brigadier 2 days after. So it's very interesting that his affidavit doesn't have his signature and a stamp. Very interesting. It seems like things were done in a hurry here. Things were a rush process. I don't know. It's my opinion of looking and observing this situation. So the right in the constitutions are not the same. The rights in the constitution are not the same. Mngomezulu said, as the right you read to the accused, they are more detailed. And Rapadu said, yes, in terms of the rights of Section 35, it's the rights of an accused person. It's the right of when he is detained. And number 3 is the right of when he is charged. So the right to be brought before court within 48 hours. Was that right explained in terms of your pro forma? This is Mngomezulu asking Rapadu. Rapadu responded by saying it was never explained to him, because I suggest it was in the proximity that he must go to court on the very same day. Why is Rapadu dizzy, guys? Where in South Africa, the chances and the likelihood of you appearing in court on the same day that you got arrested, they are very small in this country, in my opinion. If you have a lawyer, surely it will happen 48 hours, within 48 hours, because of the presence of your lawyer. But if you don't have a lawyer, Mtagabao, it's a different story. Okay, anything can happen. You are at their mercy. So I am like, at Rapadu's answer, I'm like, Guys, this is the justice of the peace. This is the justice of the peace who's answering so carelessly. I can't believe it. I'm shocked. I know you guys, some of you who are new may not be used to me laughing, but usually when I'm very uncomfortable, I laugh. Because I can't believe this. I can't believe his answer. I can't believe he responded like this. So he's saying that he assumed that there would be a court appearance on the very same day. He took the confession from 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30, according to him, up until 11:47. And he thought that Bongani Ntanzi was going to court on that very same day. Let it sink in. This is the justice of the peace at a police station. Muroka. Yeah, guys. Then the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. This is now where Mngomezulu was focusing. Was it explained to him? And Rapadu said that is basically more on issues of a fair trial. I'm like, question mark, question mark. I'm like that meme that is so confused with so many equations. I'm like, what is going on? This man is not answering questions. This man is being so evasive. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. That is basically more on issue of fair trial. They're asking you about the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. And you are saying that it's basically on a fair trial. They're asking if you read the right, yes or no. And you are saying that is basically more on issues of a fair trial. And I'm like, so Mngomezulu continued to ask, but now my concern is when you were taking this confession or this alleged confession, you and the judge interrupted and said, please, just be specific. You said he never made a confession. Now you are saying that he was saying that he made the confession. And then Mngomezulu restructured his question and he re-asked it again in this manner. As per the correction by the Lordship, a statement was already signed before he appended a signature. Did you explain a right to be presumed innocent until proven otherwise? Did you explain that right? Rapadu said no. At the time, it was imperative that you should have informed the accused that he has such a right, and by mere fact that a confession has been made does not constitute a conviction. Rapadu said, my understanding is that the confession that he made to me was still going to be put before the court to test. I didn't presume any conviction based on the confession. So, according to Rapadu, as he's taking this confession, to him, he's guilty until proven innocent. So he's literally taking the law of the country, of the constitution, and flipping it around, honey, to benefit him, in my opinion. So Mngomezulu said, in your mind, that right of being presumed innocent was still applicable to the accused. And Rapadu said, like any police official, you are optimistic about your job that you are doing. And the main thing you must push for is a win at the forefront. What does that mean? What is a win? What is he talking about? Does he literally mean that according to him, people are guilty before they are proven innocent? Is that what he's saying? And on top of that, being optimistic about your job that you're doing, and the main thing you must push for is a win at the forefront. I'm like, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. A police officer thinking like this. You are already saying that this person is guilty, so much so that you even forget to read them their rights, that they are presumed to be innocent until proven guilty by a court of law. What is happening in this country? Oh my God, I'm so scared. Like, what is going on? A justice of the peace, you guys. We're not just talking about any other police official. We're talking about justice of the peace. Person who takes people's confession down, responsible for sending people into jail or not, depending on the circumstances. But I'm like, this is a justice of peace. What is he saying? That he's always opting for a win. So you only care about a win. You don't care about people's lives that you're impacting. You don't care whether the person is guilty or innocent. Anybody can come and claim to make a confession. You don't care whether the confession is true or not. You just want a win. Is that what you're saying? Guys, I'm scared. I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie. So Mngomezulu then asked the state for the time, and the judge then asked for the time, only to find out from Advocate Baloyi that it was actually time for tea break. Now do you see what is happening? Mngomezulu would rather ask the state than to ask the judge directly, because the last time he did that, he said, no, continue with the cross-examination. Continue. Because he was just simply merely asking for a break. So now, today, he was like, no, let me ask Advocate Baloyi. Double check if it's not time for tea yet. Awkward. Very awkward. Then after the tea break, Advocate Mngomezulu concluded his cross-examination. I, on my side with the SABC streaming, I did not catch these parts. And apparently Advocate Charles Mnisi had no questions. What I did catch up with was Advocate Zitulele Nxumalo cross-examining the witness. Nxumalo asked, how many confessions have you taken before this one? And Rapadu said 20. You also told this court that the accused was arrested on the 16th of June 2020. The 16th of June was a holiday. It's Youth Day. You confirmed that. And Rapadu said, yes, it's what they alleged told me. Do you confirm, this is Nxumalo asking, that the 17th of June 2020 was a business day? Rapadu said that I cannot deny. Then Nxumalo asked, Brigadier Gininda called you again on the morning of the 19th of June 2020. And then Rapadu said, correct. When you were having the conversation with Brigadier Gininda, did he tell you what attempts he made to secure a magistrate? Rapadu said no. You also confirm that this form does not provide for the attempts that he had made by the person who called to assist to secure a magistrate. Then Rapadu said it does not provide that. Nxumalo then asked, when he was arrested on the 16th of June 2020, was it in respect of this case? Rapadu said, I didn't ask, and that is why in my evidence in chief I said I didn't even want to know the details of that case. I get you not wanting to know the details of the ammunition case, but it's giving you also didn't care for the details of this case. This current case, this murder case that you were taking allegedly a confession for. So Nxumalo then said, do you confirm the rights contained at the top of the page or page 2 refers to arrested persons? And Rapadu said the rights given to him is for the purpose of a crime. Nxumalo then asked, what is your home language? And Rapadu said, Pedi. Nxumalo said, you told this court that you understand isiZulu. And Rapadu said, yes. He said that he was living at the hostel at some point at the beginning of his career. So he was asked to read in Zulu the right to remain silent. And it sounded like a hot mess. And I quote, this is how he translated it. You have the right to remain silent because everything you say might be held against you in a court of law. I quote, this is what Rapadu said. Unelungelo lati ungasho lutho ngoba lento uzoyisho la izobalwa phansi isebenziswe ifakazi court. Guys, even my Zulu is better. I'm like, cut. This man is lying about being fluent in isiZulu. He might hear it, but he can't speak the language. And if he did take that confession, there's no way he was able to translate or interpret it for the accused. He needs to stop lying, okay? He needed the assistance of an interpreter. He needed it. Okay, he needed someone to be there who is fluent in the language so that all of these rights could be there. So now, for me, in my opinion, he's proving that he never ensured, or maybe he didn't care whether the accused understood the rights or not. It wasn't his concern. I feel like he read everything in English. And later on, he did admit that, yes, everything was done in English. Or when the judge interfered earlier on, remember I was telling you guys that it was with regards to the ammunition case. And he made the Rapadu to tell him, or to tell the court, that he did the confession in English. There was no interpreter. So, and Ngumalo continued to ask, did you also explain to the accused the consequences of not remaining silent? And Rapadu said, yes, I understand. No, you're not answering the question. Did you explain the consequences of not remaining silent? Ngumalo repeated the question. And Rapadu said, I explained to him the rights as set out in the format. I didn't go into details as to the book explains. So the judge said, Mr. Ngumalo, that handbook is for a policeman who finds a person committing an offense. The person who was making a confession was already arrested according to him. Now this is the judge again covering Tagabao, the witness, okay, giving them time and space to navigate the situation, in my opinion, because there was no need for that. He's a police officer. He should know which rights apply where, when, and how. It's his job. Why are you testifying, speaking on his behalf? It's his job. He does it every day. He should know these things, okay? Then Ngumalo said yes, to explain to him that at the time he was with the deponent of his rights again in terms of Section 35, so that he is aware of what he's going, or what is going to happen if he continues with the procedure of obtaining a statement from the accused person. That is my understanding. And for the first time, I felt proud. I felt proud to see Ngumalo kind of fight back, because he doesn't do that much, okay? Arguing back and saying, Judge, according to my understanding, this is what is happening, okay? And the judge said, I see, okay. He backed down. Thank you. Ngumalo then said, is it correct that you did not explain to the accused that he was not compelled to make any confession or admission that could be used in evidence against him?
Yeah.
And Rapadu said, no, I read that to him as part and parcel of his rights. Then Ngumalo asked, the right I have read to you, where is it in the pro forma? And Rapadu said, at number 1. Luckily, he found it, the right to remain silent, and blah, blah, blah. Then Ngumalo said, if it were to include the investigating officer of this case, it would mean that when the accused responded to you, he would have told you that he did not make any statement to investigating officer in the past before he appeared before you. And Rapadu said, in overall, he mentioned to me that he had not made any statement to anybody. So Rapadu said he didn't ask if he was arrested on the 16th of June. Was it in relation to this case? And then he says the accused was clean and was at ease. It was in the early hours of the morning, Rapadu. That's what he said. He said the accused was clean and was at ease. It was in the early hours of the morning. Yeah. Then Advocate Zandile Mshololo said that she is not ready to cross-examine.
Trust him, Shalala, to use any chance she gets.
She said that she wants to finish or to look more into Sergeant Mogane's statement. They were given this statement in the morning when they arrived in the court, which deals with the arrest of accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi. And she said she needs to do comparisons. She says she wants to compare the statement with the OB book and consult. So the other defense counsel agreed. So court adjourned early today until tomorrow.
Yeah.
But this cross-examining was hot. I liked it.
Yeah. So I guess the person who's in charge of this case must be the biggest person ever. Because I don't know how he gets these people to adhere, allegedly.
Another statement given in the morning that pertains not only to the confession. Okay, I'm also thinking about other witnesses that have come prior to Rapadu appearing. I'm thinking about Hadebe. I'm thinking about Mapakela. I'm thinking maybe there's something there that links them. But the statement was given in the morning, and they can only focus on. So I don't blame Advocate Mshololo for saying she needed more time. I don't blame her. Okay, I'm not gonna be too harsh on her, because what in the F?
And the judge is complaining to Mshololo. You should be complaining to Baloyi.
You should be complaining to
But
the
you're saying
state
I'm not gonna say anything because
for giving them the statements late.
the guy is up in the States. I'm not gonna say it, but the guy is just.
And he's like, this court, we don't like to waste time. We don't like it when we waste time. But who's wasting time here?
Yeah.
In this particular scenario.
Be specific.
And that's why a lot of people are under the impression that the defense is the one that is wasting the court's time. However, guys.
The court wants the things to be done quick and done.
Going to prepare for an exam when you've been given the notes in the morning? Are you going to
pass
that exam?
You're not going to be able to do that.
Are you going to perform in that exam? So why are you guys expecting the defense to roll with all of these ambushes? Mshololo is choosing wisdom.
No, be specific. Say, Baloyi, stop this nonsense.
He doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to call him to order. Stop giving the defense statements late. Reveal everything now. Why is everything coming piece by piece?
You do that again, I'm going to have to take a serious decision about you. Simple as that.
You are making this trial seem to be unfair for the defense. Please. The same way you say please when you're interrupting the defense counsel when they're asking pertinent questions that irritate you, you should be saying that, giving Baloyi the same energy to say please. Stop giving them the statements late.
The guy keeps adjusting for Baloyi all the time because it's Baloyi's doing adjust.
No. It's quite unfair for the defense at this point. This is not giving fair trial anymore. It's giving something else. You need to make up your mind, Judge. Are you going to reprimand this late statement submission or what?
No, they must. I think they must start noting these things down and send them there, just as notes to say that this is the case we're facing in this court, so that the judge knows that everyone is aware, and because seemingly he is under impression that we are fools. We're not fools. We can see.
It's so sad to watch this, considering the fact that he's also retired. So you came out of retirement to show us that this is how you've been handling cases all of these years. That your courtroom is this hostile. It feels like this for the defense. You should have just stayed at home.
This just, but
You are ruining your reputation. It
no,
looks,
what reputation does he have? This is what we are seeing.
It looks dodgy.
If we are looking at what reputation?
He should have just stayed home and said, Aunties, I'll watch from the TV like everyone else. Let me enjoy my retirement. What is this? I'm not participating. Get another judge.
What do they
Get
do?
somebody else to do it.
They brought you back to like a setup.
You're
They know that you behave like this.
in front of Pamgwa, the nation.
Now it's no longer from the backyard.
And maybe he assumed that maybe the interest is not that much. There's a lot of people watching this case. This case is followed more than any other case currently in the country. Even the former president had a court appearance, was it when yesterday? It didn't get as much attention as this one. This one, we are on it as the nation. We are heavily invested on it. So a lot of people are seeing what you're doing in that court. A lot.
Yeah, definitely we are.
Millions. They are watching what you're doing. And it doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't.
So guys, the lines are now open. You can call in and share your opinion of what you thought of today's very short court proceeding. Well, I had to cover the entire cross-examination because it sounded important.
It
and
did.
I liked it. The details in it, I know, were going to be very useful. Okay, so
Can
I
this
had
man
to cover
deny
everything to the
that
T.
that he was with his wife in Barakwan?
Can he?
I mean,
They'll have to.
I was gonna ask a simple question: if
Does your
the
wife
person is
work
lying
in
on
the
my,
vicinity of Barakwana? Mshololo.
this guy is specific to say that there was
But
a baby.
find out first.
There was a baby there.
Find out if the wife.
Why won't you
actually
dispute
works
that,
at
hey, I
Barakwana
don't
and
have a
then
baby?
Pose the question to him.
Or why won't you say something like, I don't have a baby? What
I
is
don't
the
have a
baby's gender?
child. I don't have a child.
So that we see.
He sounded stunned, honestly.
Yeah, he sounded stunned.
Shocked.
He was shocked.
He didn't sound like he was ready for that question.
No.
Threw him off guard.
No, let's see what other people are going to say.
And guys, the way Ntanzi has detailed the events.
Ntanzi, hello?
So that we see.
Hi, Mr. Anonymous and Emily. Sorry.
Hi.
Let me just switch it to TV.
Yes, please switch it off, the volume.
Yeah, it's gone. I think already with these people being moved from police station to police station is just dodgy.
Yeah.
Like, if you are arrested, why are you being moved from one police station to another? Besides the 48-hour court rule and everything else, why are you being moved around? Because if anyone has to ask you questions or your family has to visit you or whatever, or your family finds you an attorney without you knowing, if you don't have money, how are they going to find you if you're being moved
Exactly.
all over?
Exactly. How was the family going to find him?
Even an attorney, how are they going to find you
Yo,
if you're being moved around?
you can ask that again.
So that, without everything else that's dodgy that's been going on, to me is just, if I was a judge or whatever, I would look at that in different eyes. But ora tata, when things are not going his way, he just gets fidgety. He must just calm down or take anxiety pills or something.
Yeah.
Or is stressful, because when he's agitated, it shows, and that doesn't look good.
He has breadwinner tendencies.
Maybe he was a breadwinner. I'm sure he's the only judge in his house.
Thinks everyone is going to budge to his way of doing things.
Perhaps
What
it's
he's
that uncle that everyone has anxiety before they arrive at an event. They're like, yo, he's coming. Yo.
I never stayed
No,
with
he's-
uncles like that. I just moved out.
Yo, he's gonna be
You know,
telling us
he's
about how
annoying.
we don't like school, how this, how that, how he's driving a what, how,
No, he's actually becoming annoying every time I watch this case.
Yeah, he is annoying. I won't lie to you. He gets in your skin.
really-
You can imagine what that defense is going through with being there in that court. Unlike us, we are outside.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about, I think, Mngomezulu or whatever.
Yeah.
He's a bit timid, but I think he's just a young guy. And after what happened to what's the other guy's name that is in trouble?
Advocate
Yeah, like he's still a young guy, and I think he's agitated, and the anxiety is because of that. He does not want to get into trouble as well. But at the end of the day, this is people's lives, you know?
Yeah.
So if he decided to be an attorney or a lawyer or an advocate, he needs to just fight. Because right now, like, even this thing, good people are just being moved around from police station to police station every day. Guys, it's not right.
It's
Yeah.
not.
No?
It's not right at all. And then the issue, not having an interpreter, and then on the statement or whatever that they had, they were going through today, the guy that was testifying, the police that was testifying, or whatever, he says there's an interpreter. Hello? He said there wasn't an interpreter, but there is an interpreter.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's an interpreter.
He is the interpreter.
I'm Zulu
Yes.
from KZN, and I did not go to the Zulu school. Is Zulu Sami see right to see but there are certain things I cannot interpret from English to Zulu or from any other language to Zulu properly. So, as a baby person, how does he play interpreter? And his baby. And then mese ethi akafundela ufundela umphetho.
Yeah. No?
No, anyway, guys, no, I think it's just becoming annoying more than anything with time and everything else, because they are wasting time. And at the end of the day, we don't know where this thing is going.
Yeah. No, we hear it.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Anonymous and Emily.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Good night.
Right. Mrs. K is saying that he's neglecting his family because of his case. What's up with that?
No, don't do that.
Zanzi, hello.
No, family is important.
Mr. Anonymous, Njani?
What's going on, Sam Johnny?
Ngiyaphila mfowethu. Yeah, manish. kule case yazi mfethu mina nginenkinga nje mhlawumbe ezu-3 wabona ya eyokuqala inkinga yami ungathembi ijaji nami ijaji sengiphela ithemba kulona. Why I'm saying that there was a time whereby I'm sure most of the people didn't get the question that was raised by Mngomezulu when that police guy was supposed to go and get the documents at home. Who's that guy?
Zungu. Yeah.
Mngomezulu raised the question, and when he raised the question, I don't know is the manner where he raised the question or people didn't understand him, but the judge quickly get the question and then he crashed Mngomezulu. That's the day when the day where I lost hope on this judge. The question of Mngomezulu, I will just make it as a sketch. Mngomezulu uthe makabuza wathi ebuza endoda le wathi okay when they were taking the statement you were talking right with the guy who was asking you some question and then the lady was typing and the guy said yes, and then now the problem it was the names were mixed Now Mngomezulu was having a problem with the first name. How come the person who was typing made a mistake with the people who are there in court, 5 of them, and the person who was typing doesn't know those people, but he made a mistake typing and getting a statement from you. So people didn't get that question, but the judge quickly get the question and then he fought me. Yeah, and then Mngomezulu ended up saying that you leave that question for argument.
Yes.
But that was a very, very big question.
It was.
I understand.
It was.
Yeah, and also the problem that I'm having, I've never been in a court, but I used to watch some of the television court cases. There are channels that are playing court cases.
Yes.
But there is one thing that I've noticed: these people who are committing crime, they are specializing. You will find a person who's stealing cars. You will only specialize with stealing cars. You'll never find a person who's stealing cars go and robbing like you go and be a threat killer or committing a robbery. If you steal cars, you stick on that lane. So now, what I'm saying when I'm looking at this case, these guys, they are hitmen, so they say. I understand. Now, I'm thinking, how can these guys who are hitmen, who've been committing this thing, hitting the big names in the taxi industry, go and risk and go and steal phones and money in a random house?
No.
And also, we can say it was a hit. But now, if you go back to the crime that these guys committed and compare it with this crime of Senzo Meyiwa, it doesn't make sense. There is no similarity on this crime because these guys, when they come to you, you can see on the documentary, when they come to you, they make sure they hit everything that is there in front of them. But now with that hit of Senzo Meyiwa, you can see it was a mistake that thing. And also the last point, looking at the ranks that are involved. Some people they don't understand the ranks. Looking at the ranks that are involved in this case, some people they don't know what is the kennel. They don't know how big is the kennel. So it's like taking a manager of a store saying he must go and clean a fridge. Just imagine a manager of a store cleaning a fridge. So I'm just imagining a kennel being hands-on in a case. I'm like, what is happening? Because if you can check the ranks that are involved in this case, if you know about the ranks and everything, you start questioning yourself. What is important with this case that will force a kennel to be hands-on in such a case?
Yeah.
Hey, there are a lot of questions on this case, man. There are a lot of because just imagine, man. I kept saying it's something else in the police industry.
Yes.
Just leave the kennel, a captain. But now, if a captain is moving from one station to another station and struggling, waiting for a signature for people to sign somebody out. He will wait an hour. A captain, it's impossible, my brother. That one I can assure you. He will wait almost an hour for just a signature to sign the guy out. So just imagine a kennel.
No,
some of the things it's hardly to believe.
That's why I'm saying, for me, there is a problem. This, whoever really is an orchestrator of this whole movie of Denzel, as you guys say, call it, it's a movie of Denzel. He must be that big, because
because it's like there's someone who stretched somebody's back. Now he needs to stretch it back. You understand?
It does have. It gives those vibes that are not. It's like, you feel sometimes when I watch it, it's like some of these people that are there to testify and do all these things on behalf of, it's like there's a bit of blackmailing, if you may call it. I mean, I don't think I would go out of my way to really go that direction. There's that. Obviously, this is my own opinion. It's either or. You do it, you do it, or you don't. If you don't, then face the music. That's why
it's obvious. It's like that.
When you are seeing this,
you can see
the names.
You can see it. I wanna if ungakaze uye court, and now I start to believe it. Nabantu abasemajele abagotshelwa into wrong. And if you can remember, I once called and I asked you, what is so special with this guy, whereby everyone who wants to give them to who want to confess, he goes straight to this guy, and he's really proud of it. He comes and say people they are confessing to him. What is so special with him? If you can remember, there is a show, I won't name the name of the show on the TV.
Yeah.
Whereby if you say they are going to a break, he will come clean as if they didn't do anything. But whatever they want from you, you take it out. You understand?
Yeah.
So people are in such powers to do such things. You understand?
No, I get you.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, Emily. Enjoy the morning.
She's gone. Thank you.
Sharp.
Right. Somebody said, yes, you can call. Yes, you can call. Yeah, the caller was spot on. That's why you gave him enough time to continue. Zanzelo?
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, it's my first time to watch you, but I've got a few things that I just want to share.
Okay.
The first one is why the state they are not interested to bring Kelly Khumalo. Senzo was there because of Kelly. So now Kelly is the central point of all these things, and Advocate Baloyi made it clear that Kelly is not coming. So that's where people need to know what are the reasons, because Kelly knows something.
Yeah.
And it's very important for Kelly to testify in court. And it's the same Kelly whereby they are saying so-called accused, they picked that there was a conversation between the accused and Kelly. And it's the same Kelly who was in the house.
Yeah.
Then the state they don't want to bring her. That's the first point.
Yes.
Then the second point is that these guys, in normal criminal procedure, this is how I understand. If someone confesses, he's taken to court after the confessions, and then it becomes an admission of guilt, whereby they can arrange for you now that you've admitted, then you're going to get a less sentence, something like that.
Yes.
So that was the next process that was supposed to be done. This guy has confessed, he's admitted. What is the next stage? The next stage is to take him to a public court and say, okay, we are going to negotiate with you on your sentence. Are you going to get life sentence? Are you going to get less? That process was not done. So, yes. Point number 3 is that the issue of the judge is a great concern to everyone. We have watched many trials. If you remember very well, the trial of Oscar Pistorius, how Judge Masipa was handling the matter.
Yes.
This judge is just angry. He's just angry. And I feel that he's also disrespecting our black lawyers. I don't think if these lawyers were white, he was going to give them that attitude that he's giving. You know, there are so many people, young people, who are aspiring, wants to be lawyers. But when they see a judge attacking and disrespecting lawyers, they lose confidence and say, no, this profession is not for us.
That is
so
true.
I'm not happy with the way. And this thing has been happening. It was the same thing with the previous judge.
Yes.
He had an attitude, and this one had an attitude. We've watched many court cases on SABC. We see a lot of professionalism from the judges, but this judge is the worst ever on my side. And then the other concern is also with the issue of I can say the issue of it just went out. But I wanted to say that it's the issue of Advocate Baloy. If you remember, if you look very well, is that the judge, he respects Mr. Baloy. Yes. And sometimes he even asked him to quote him something like, Mr. Baloy, what does the law say? I don't think it's the right way of doing. It's like he's giving him an advantage, like he listens to Advocate Baloy than other lawyers. So those are some of the concerns. Yes. But in general, people are disappointed, to be honest, because with the way this trial is going. I think it's today or yesterday when the advocate for the first accused and second accused, when he tried to raise the issue of people being tortured by police and so on, he wanted to refer to one of the police officers that, do you no longer twala, something like that. And the judge quickly blocked that because there was also a confession from one of the state witnesses that he was tortured. So he also wanted to bring that attention to the police officer who was prosecuting, who was testifying. Unfortunately, the judge blocked that. And my last point, this case is handled like what the previous caller said, that the case is being handled by brigadiers. It raises a lot of concern that this was a planned thing to say, guys, we are going to handle this, we are going to do this and this and this and this. I'll just give you an example. This case was being handled by the department. They call it cold cases, national court cases. They deal more on cases of maybe that have happened, maybe there's no trace, there's not enough evidence. Zungu, if you check with the version of Zungu, they were sitting with the evidence for Zungu for many years. Why didn't they proceed it during that time to say, okay, we've got information from Zungu, like what he said. They kept quiet with that information, and all of a sudden, it's coming up now.
Yes. So
these are some of the concerns that the biggest part is that they are exposing to the community that there is no justice in this world. You know, now the issue is not only involving the police, it's now going even to the national prosecution. Because truly speaking, how can you have two dockets? It really means even in the police service, they are divided. With this case, they've got two dockets, and they are saying, Advocate Baloy, they said no, they are not Mzinyati. I think it's national prosecution boss. He said a decision is only going to be made after this case. This is a big embarrassment.
It is.
Why would they wait for this case to make a decision? They've got evidence because that docket 375, it has got information, it has got evidence. Now, if you look on this case, the state lost the case long time ago, but they are still insisting, pushing. Like the DNA said that these guys were not there. If you even check the current evidence presented in court at the moment, it's not beyond reasonable doubt. But now, You can see the NPA is pushing on this case. Number two, the judges on their side, the police, they are also coming up with cooked stories and so on. And at the end of the day, it destroys people's confidence with the judiciary system. What happens in future? You reach a certain stage whereby the community, they just take the law into their own hands. People, they don't testify in court, they don't give evidence.
Yes.
And we are setting a very bad precedent. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So you've said mouthful. Thank you very much. Very composed. Indeed, South Africa is a very unique country, and not in a nice way. Indeed, we are something else. We are something else. Only us can understand us. The rest of the countries cannot understand South Africa. It does not make sense that we have a system like this. And we when the judiciary was put under scrutiny by politicians, some of them it was made to look like it's because they are on the wrong end of justice. But this poses a question, because this is a case of someone who's dependent on these people, independent from politics. Then why do we have situations like this? Why do we have cases looking like, hey, someone is pulling the strings? No, if a case looks like that, then I'm a lay person. I'm not supposed to see that. But if I'm at a position where I'm kind of feeling or noticing certain things like that, as a court of public opinion, obviously this is our opinion. But honestly speaking, come on, guys. As the last caller said, this case was long lost. But there's this insistence that it must be that. Can it be anything else other than what you are feeding us? Can we get something else? It must be that. Nothing else. It must be that. There was a head. We were told about evidence, damning evidence, DNA, what. DNA came and said, exclusion. All these people will exclude them. So, nothing puts these people there in that house, except this gun that is in question, by the way. Even that gun is in question. You arrest someone for ammunition, you don't charge them the same day. No. The day they make a confession of a different case, the one of Fosloras, then you start charging them. What kind of a system is that? It's like someone is doing things in as if it's okay, you can do whatever, I can do however I want it. I can arrest you today and charge you next month. And currently, I'm going to leave it at this. There is a case, or there is a situation like that is happening currently. That is, in a sense, looking like it's linked to this case. What should we say as a public opinion? What should we say as a public? What should we do? But then, I leave it to you guys. From me, Mr. Anonymous, and on behalf of Emily in her absence, I thank you all. I would like to pick few people before I go and say thank you for being there. Nate, Aunt CK Moyo, Sizwe, Spa Masugu, Thokozisile Tool, and Lungelo James, Hlangabezi, BJ. Thank you guys for being here. Maudley, thank you for being here. Sfiso Moyo, thank you for being here. John Mukhalani, thank you for being here. And everyone else, Mimi, who has been following this case. Do the right thing, share the video, Like the video. Strike. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. Like the video. Share the video. Elizabeth. Thank you. Let's see. Innocentia. Thank you. Oh, Innocentia Hadeb. You share the surname with the guy who was testifying. Am I wrong? Elizabeth Veiws. I know that you said you don't want us to use the surname. You must use his name. Mrs. K. Mrs. K. Thank you. Michelle. Thank you. So that's it. Rosani. Thank you. That is it from my side. And thank you for being with us until today. Until today. We shall see each other today. If Mshololo is done reading whatever that he needs to read, she needs to read, then we shall be back. And Malloy is not going to come up with new statements again to take this case further. But honestly speaking, it's time. Like someone must speak to Malloy. Someone must say something to Malloy to say, no, man, you can't work like this. I mean, you've got nothing to hide, right? You feel your case is solid. Then let us rock and roll. Stop working like there's something you're hiding. You're trying to manipulate the system. Thomas Lucas, thanks. Specific Lendlovu, thank you. And stop working like you are hiding something. God's love, hi. Start taking this case serious. Work on something. Do something. That's basically what I think it should be done. Nombuso, thank you. Yeah, I think, guys, it was nice being with you here. Like the video, share the video, watch the video, comment on the video, continue the conversation. From me, Mr. Anonymous, and Emily, we thank you.